Welcome to this month's Small Biz Virtual Summit. My name is Ken Massa, and I am here with Chuck Boyce. Today, we're bringing on a variety of guests that cover topics in everyday problems that we face within the business world. But our guests are experts in creating solutions to these challenges. And these challenges may be everyday problems that you're facing as a business owner, an entrepreneur, or someone that works in a very amazing business, but you face problems that we all face. Here is a way where you can find those solutions, where you can listen to those who have experienced the same things that you're going through, and even come up with a solution that may work for you.
Okay, so our next guest, Peter Diamandis, calls Mike Koenigs an arsonist of the mind. Tony Robbins says, Mike is an extraordinary man. He's brought me insights on how to reach people on the internet that are so valuable. This is a man you should deal with. Take advantage of what he has to offer. Mike's a serial entrepreneur with 5 successful exits, a 17-time best-selling author, and he helps entrepreneurs create their next act for a high net, low overhead, high impact, lifestyle compatible, and simple business that they love. He's the secret weapon of founders looking to create and launch a new business after an exit and build a magnetic personal brand that multiplies the value of everything they do. His expertise and success have led him to work with major brands and high-profile clients, including Sony, AT&T, BMW, 20th Century Fox, Best Buy, and 3M. As a pioneer in teaching AI, Mike has taken the stage at Tony Robbins events, Peter Diamandis' Abundance 360 conferences, MIT, EO, YPO, Strategic Coach, Genius Network, and Dave Asprey's biohacking events, inspiring and educating audiences with his innovative AI insights and systems. And it is my absolute pleasure to welcome my very good friend, Mike Koenigs, as our guest.
Chuck
Mike,
Boyce
welcome.
is in the house. How you doing?
This is so odd. Usually we're on the other side of this, so this is going to be fun. So
I know. I've been looking forward to it. I'm here with Reagan Archibald, your health enhancing guru as well. I just spent a couple days with him. We've just got so many good friends and a long history. So, man, I am so proud of you. It's so good to be here with you, man.
So Ken and I are so happy to have you on here with us in the virtual summit. So, Mike, I know AI is all the talk of the rage. I've seen several of your presentations over the last year and a plus. The funny thing is, every time I see you present on this topic, you always have something new. So I'm going to get out my pen and paper here and get ready to take some notes. So we're going to just kick it on off to you.
All right. Well, so I'll begin by, we call this the razzle dazzle. And I always like to start out with something when we're on stage that hooks the audience. And I always do a lot of research ahead of time. I usually arrive a couple days in advance, kind of feel the room and say, like, what do these folks need that would light them up and make a difference? So I'm going to begin with a little demo, and then I'm going to show you something that's really, really cool that I think is a massive time enhancer. So the lens we're operating through is, how do you use AI to enhance your natural abilities and become 3, 10, even 100 times more effective and more efficient than you already are? How do you increase your income and revenue by 20 or 200%? Without having to add more people? And how do you enhance the capabilities of the teams you already have? So this is a little thing that I shared when I walked on stage at YPO in Beverly Hills chapter a little while ago. And right in front was the CEO of Beachbody. And I've updated this presentation since with something they had, because he saw what I did and he's like, we need that right now. We've got 900 programs that we want to reach an international audience. So this is what I showed at the very beginning, which is the original video right here. Oops. After that, here we go. Here it is.
Hey, what's up? My name is Jessie, and welcome to your 10-minute standing core. For this workout today, you need 1 lightweight dumbbell. Okay,
so that was in English, obviously. Original. This is actually low quality too. And then he said, well, how do we reach an international audience? And I said, check out what AI can do right now and pay close attention to the R in this language conversion. Look at the lip sync.
Hola, soy Jessie, tu entrenadora. Bienvenidos al entrenamiento de 10 minutos para fortalecer el core. Necesitarás una mancuerna y tu monitor.
Okay, so that's Spanish. And then, of course,
Salut, je suis Jessie. Bienvenue à votre entraînement de 10 minutes pour les muscles profonds. Préparez un haltère léger et votre moniteur.
okay, that's impressive. But how about this?
么？怎么了？我是解析，欢迎来到您的10分钟站立核心训练。G20核心。
Point being, this is a tool. It's called HeyGen. And if you wanted to reach a larger audience and get out to the rest of the world, meaning, let's say in the case of Beachbody, their use case is we're already in English, but the time, the expense it would take to reshoot and reprogram all of our content with different actors in every language just isn't possible. So this is a tool where you can upload video and upload content, and it'll spit out, and it does an amazing job of not just lip sync, but even if you had multiple cameras, it tracks and makes sure the lips follow. But like translating from English, for example, to Spanish, the feminine, masculine, Chinese, the structure of a sentence has a different order, Portuguese as well. And maintaining the accent plus the sound of a speaker is profoundly challenging. And this tech is really advanced. And right now, for example, I built a platform where in less than 5 minutes, we have a system that will follow up and look like me and sound like me. And I can tell it to speak in any language. It is amazing. So I look at this and say it's possible now for any business owner to communicate and have a relationship and connect with the entire planet. That to me is super exciting and pretty breakthrough. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. But I also always open up and I ask folks up front at every event, what's the one thing you need right now that if you had that missing piece would have the biggest impact on your business? That's question number one. So if I asked you guys that, Chuck and Ken, what would your answer be? What is it? What's the thing that you need right now more than anything in your current business?
Well, I think it's always going to be how are we effectively following up on those leads that are coming in. We spend so much time and effort to get people to raise their hand to come visit small biz, and we want to welcome them into this community as quickly and as personally as possible.
Okay, so that is number one, and I totally agree. That is what I'm obsessed with all the time. But I mean, for me, it's like, yes, that's where life seems to fall apart. Okay, and then the next one is who do you need to make that happen, right? So I know right now I have my social media person is in transition, wants to basically do some caretaking for some family members. So I've got to replace that person. And the answer I always come up with is, well, what if you could have an AI enhanced team and one person who could do the work of 3 or 5? And I think that is the mindset that we all need to have is the who, but how about an AI enhanced team?
Right. So really using the technology to be able to, as a multiplier really for our existing staff.
Exactly. And then I always ask as well is when we think about that a little bit more is what tools do you use in order and when? And this is really the secret to all of our AI mindsets is we're asking ourselves, okay, what products are available right now that are going to get the greatest result with the least amount of work, that don't cost a lot of money, that are easy to use and easy to understand. But at this moment in the state of AI development, you really, really need to stack a whole bunch of products and services generally, unless you do some custom development. The beauty of that is you can use stuff that's basically free or really, 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 really cheap. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to pop on and show my other screen right now with another tool I absolutely freaking love. And this is a product called Chat Hub.
Okay.
Now, what it does is like you've dabbled with and used AI, I'm sure, plenty of times. And like typically what you do, and I'll actually show you an example of how I'm using this product. But the bottom line is if you could have 6 expert consultants working for you at once, would that be better than just one, right, in the room? So this thing, let's ChatGPT, Gemini, which is Google's, Claude 3, which is the smartest. This thing actually has an IQ of 101 right now. Bing, Perplexity, the newest tool called Grok, not Grok, not the Elon Musk. This is the fastest AI available commercially, and give it a prompt. So for example, I could say, I want you to write a sales letter for a fractional AI service that helps business owners and founders iterate and solve their biggest business challenges in 2-hour hackathon sprints that can save or make $25,000 each time. Okay, so that's a promise that we make, for example, right now. And I literally just made this up. Now I could have used voice recognition to make it simpler. So I just pasted in that prompt, and you can see Grok is already done. Perplexity is doing it right now. Bing is doing an okay job. Claude just started. Gemini hasn't even started yet. ChatGPT kind of putzing along.
It's like your own little Kentucky Derby of AI.
Yes. Now here's the way I use it. And I'm going to give you another real life example that is so freaking mind blowing. When I show people this on stage, they're like, holy freaking crappy pants. You know, it's this is mind bogglingly cool. So again, use cases are what matter most.
Right.
And I'm gonna bring this up. So the basic idea, the promise is, I'm going to show you an entire marketing campaign from a picture in 5 minutes.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
This will make sense. Okay, yeah. Intrigue away. Now, I was at an event. It was actually a JJ Virgin event. So it was a health practitioner event. And a guy was talking about funnels for health practitioner businesses. Now, the truth is, this will work for any business, but he had this complex flow chart. And I looked at this and I'm like, ugh, I totally don't want to do this. Okay, I want the result, but I don't want to do it. And anyone who's a business owner is like, I can't get my own people to follow a frickin' direction and get my landing page set up and the follow-up sequences and webinars and giveaway content organized, you know, free offer, and get people to show up and then follow up with them and then sell my stuff, right? And that's what this picture shows.
Right.
And I thought, and at that time, ChatGPT just came out with the app. And they had what they call multimodal, was brand new, meaning you could send a picture or send an audio and it would process it. So I thought, I wonder what would happen if I took a picture of this crappy screen. So that is literally a photo of the projector screen. Okay. And you can see the resolution's not good. And in real time, I made a prompt. I said, I want you to take these images and create a step-by-step SOP in detail that can be followed by a marketing team. Okay. So it spit it out. And then I took that and put it into ChatGPT, and I got the entire lead generation process. And then this is something called a compound prompt. So I basically took the equivalent of the output of my last thing I started with, but it's like, take the following copy, hire a fractional AI officer or team, and write a complete marketing campaign based on this SOP, which is the interpretation of that photo, written in first person in the voice of Mike Koenigs. Start by writing a series of 5-part progressive detailed invitation emails to invite prospects to a special webinar masterclass that includes enough detail to engage an audience of entrepreneurs, business owners, and CEOs that want to join. Include a minimum of the 3 of the most powerful reasons why to join. Make the first email the top 10 reasons to hire a fractional AI officer. All right, so that's basically what it was. And this is the entire prompt. And in a second, Chuck, I'm going to grab this prompt, which all I did is grabbed a brainstorm of me just talking. Okay.
Right. Yep.
And some copy. And I'm going to feed it into Chat Hub. And you're going to watch what it does in real time. Okay. So you ready?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to go and I'm going to share Chat Hub again. And I'm going to just go back to my little presentation where I actually have that whole prompt saved. All right. So I'm just going to select it all.
Okay.
And here goes. I'm going to go back. I'm going to just paste it in. So that's this big blob, right?
Yep,
Just a whole bunch of copy. I'm going to hit send. Now watch how fast this thing goes. Da, 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 da. Look at that. Grok is already doing it. It's written 5 emails, dude. Okay.
It's done. Yeah.
Working. Bing is working. There's ChatGPT. Okay. It's cranking away. Gemini is doing its dealio. Claude is still putzing along. Now, here's why this is so important. Every one of them is a different model. It has a totally different approach to writing and doing copy. And like Claude writes the best copy right now. But what I'll typically do is I'll look through and see which one of these I like. And instead of doing any work, because in my opinion, the point of AI is to have a partner that writes your first draft for you and then aggregate or Frankenstein some of the best stuff. So I'll look at this and I'll go, this is pretty good. So I can copy this. I might look at Perplexity and look at something I like that. I can grab Bing. But what I'll do is I'll actually grab all of the outputs from all of them. And I'll say, I want you to combine all of this content and copy using the best practices of world-class copywriting marketers and create a combined version of all of these with best-in-class concepts. Okay, it could be a prompt like that,
right?
And it'll spit out something else. So if you talk to anyone these days who has or hires copywriters, you know, like I do, that just being able to communicate what you want in the first place can take an enormous amount of time. It could take you like a day in itself just to put together the spec. And then you got to meet with someone and try to delegate it to them. And that's going to take a long time. And then you got to wait for them to turn around. It might take days or weeks to get some results. And then it'll be just a first draft. And you'll be like, ugh, they missed the point. They messaging altogether. Instead, I'm literally building entire business campaigns and products in 2 hours. So I'm going to show you in a second another case study that stacks all these mindsets on top of each other. But I'm going to stop and just say, any questions so far before I show you the big mindset that usually rocks founders and owners and gets them thinking completely differently about their businesses?
No questions on my end, but the one thing that tool does that's
go ahead.
That's really unique is, and we do this internally, right? We'll take those 2 different models, or we're not using 6 because that's just a lot. Entering the prompt into 6 different models, to compare them is a lot of work, but we'll put them against each other in some capacity. But that does it far more seamlessly, and within seconds, it's literally one prompt and it goes through everything. So that's amazing because we're doing it internally already, but not to that capacity.
It's nuts. And have you been using Claude Opus yet? Have you experimented with that and given that the run through?
We've done it a little bit, but I would say more heavily on ChatGPT and Gemini, honestly, between the 2.
So try out Claude Opus, which as of now, when we're recording this, is, I think, maybe 3 weeks old. It is definitely the smartest copywriter and the most trainable I've found so far. I'm astonished at how good it is producing good content. And if you go down the rabbit hole a little bit and watch some of the comparison YouTube videos, it's impressive. I'm getting some awesome content out of it, like first pass, without even telling it to correct itself.
It's such an amazing tool to use because you're right. The number one thing for us, for the use case is, and I think we use it in a similar capacity, using some type of AI technology to be your first draft and then see if you need to lean into a certain angle a little bit more aggressively, or to kind of teach it to go to one side of the copy model that it creates or whatnot. But if you're using it first and then continuing to advance it, it helps dramatically speed up the process. And that's like the number one thing. It turns days into hours.
And money.
It totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Well, and there's a great hook here coming up in a second. So I'm going to show you a framework that I used in my book, and I always teach this in some capacity. Again, I always modify for a different use case depending on the audience. If it's health practitioners, they want one thing. If they're business owner founders, if they're CEOs of larger corporations, of course, everyone's got a different goal. But here's the setup. So the Industrial Revolution created millionaires. You could be a poor immigrant who didn't even speak English, come to the United States and create some form of value and create a multi-million-dollar organization, become a millionaire. I mean, live the American dream. Internet revolution created billionaires. Again, first-generation immigrants could come to this country and leverage this technology. And, you know, when you think about what Amazon Cloud did, or, you know, what Google did, all of these became massive accelerators. Even social media, when used for business purposes, completely disrupted all of advertising, marketing, and the media. The AI revolution is going to create trillionaires. My prediction is Elon will be the first, and then within 3 to 5 years, we will have probably 3, maybe even 5 trillionaires among us, and we probably haven't even heard their names yet. Okay, they'll just come out of nowhere, because we can stack billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of technology on top of each other. And the beauty of AI right now is, like, technically every prompt you ever do in ChatGPT should cost about $20. It's being subsidized by big tech right now because the data value is so high. The value and the climb to creating these multi-trillion-dollar market cap companies, the competitive nature of it is so high. So, you know, a lot of people are investing a lot of money in this. So here's the basic idea behind the millionaire mindset right now. And that is, you and I could sit down and iterate. And if I just said, hey, what's the biggest challenge you have? What's the biggest thing that would generate the most revenue with that is hard for you to either fathom, or maybe you're limited by time, money, resources, team, capabilities, education, whatever it is. But we could iterate, just the 3 of us right now, and come up with some super creative ideas, just play together, and either help ourselves or help someone else generate an extra 20 to 200% in increased revenue. Okay. And that's just using off the shelf, free, or like $20 to $100 a month tools. And we call it the stack. So the challenge, though, is normal businesses are worth a multiple of their EBITDA. Okay, their earnings before taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And even if you increase your revenue, it doesn't mean you're increasing the value of your business. It's not going to increase your multiples. So it's good for cash now. And my argument is anyone can do that in little 2-hour sprints a couple times a week. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So what we do, every time I speak, I always do a lot of survey taking. I say, hey, what is the biggest challenge you're dealing with right now? And people are like, oh man, if I just had some mechanism to create some passive income in my business, if I could just do a better job of doing more podcasts or my social media, or I need to clone myself for my best employees. So, you know, basically something that could write copy just like me, or, you know, if I just had someone doing all my SOPs so people could follow them step by step. These are all little playbooks. They're like copy, paste, use the script, paste it into this tool, get this outcome. So one of the things that we did recently, and you know these guys, Chuck, is Jim and Jamie Shields. They have a company.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you. That's right. That's right. I talk about you all the time in that case. So they do build to rent real estate.
Yep.
Now they have a challenge, which is their copy is never good enough. And when we started looking down, we discovered that they had some autoresponders that had some really old copy in it. And they were like, God, I wonder why not enough people show up for our calls. Well, it was because the copy was bad or non-existent. But the other thing is, well, how are we going to create 52 weeks worth of content that overcomes the primary objections people have when they build, when they do build to rent? So we built a bot using the GPT function in ChatGPT, which is super easy. You know, you click on Explore GPTs, you can click on either Create, and the bottom line is step by step. And I can actually show you a little example here. I'll bring up the ChatGPT window and show you the real functional bot we created. But what we did is I just took a few interviews that I had done with Jim.
Okay.
And I put it inside ChatGPT. So here's how it worked. You go to Explore GPTs and you do plus, okay? And I can click on configure and I give it a name. I'll call it Chuck Boyce Copywriter, and give it a description. I can say, this is a ChatGPT that writes in Chuck Boyce's voice. There we go. That's nice and rhymey. And the instructions we can paste in some basic instructions. I want you to write, I'd say something like, I want you to write in the voice of Chuck Boyce as a professional copywriter with 25 years of experience. Use the knowledge uploaded below as examples of how he speaks, what he talks about, what he values, and also use information for the top 100 reasons why someone wouldn't buy that are also included when investing in whatever your business type is.
Right.
And then you can say a conversation starter might be, I could say something like, create 52 weeks of clickbait worthy subject lines. Okay. And then I would upload knowledge, which would be interviews that we've done. Again, any information about the client. Mm-hmm. And then we just start typing, right? And that could be saved and shared. That's basically how it worked. So the one that we created as an example for Jim and Jamie, we basically built the spot, and it took a couple of hours. So this is one is called the Passive Income 52-Week Email Builder. And if I click on show me a list of 52 compelling subject lines to market our products, it basically draws from all the knowledge, all the interviews, all of the objections in the order of value. And here you can see it just starts writing. So we got this cranking in multiple windows and did 104 weeks worth of content, all based on the voice of Jim, their biggest objections, and speaking to their specific buying types. So that saved them 2 copywriting hires over the next year. So basically inside of, let's call it half a day or less, we saved them at least $150,000. But more importantly, they don't have to wait to get the results. And they don't have to wait for a crappy first draft, which, right, if you know copywriters, they always screw up, right? But that to me is like, that's one of the best ideas is, first of all, it's like, okay, what tools to use and when, and even knowing what's possible. What are these things capable of? There's another tool, and this is a couple of my favorites that I use. One's called Video Gen. So basically what you can do is just put in, you can say, generate a video, paste in a script or an idea, and it'll create an entire video from scratch and edit it and grab buyout video and clips. There's another one called InVideo that, again, you can feed in a script or some ideas, and it'll write a script, create a synthetic voice. It will find music. It'll take a bunch of clips and organize them, put them in order for you, and build an entire video in a couple of minutes. I mean, it is freaking amazing. And if you want, I can show you the first draft of one that I made for this business I've been working on for a little while. Do you want me to play like something completely generated by video?
Yeah. Like, yeah. You can't tease me like that and not give me a little taste.
Bring it up. Okay, I just found it on machine here, and this thing is, here's what's freaking amazing. It is 2 minutes and 36 seconds long, so it's short. And no, again, I just fed it a little script. Now, full disclosure, I did write this script. I kind of iterated a few times. I did spend some time. Right. But this is 100% synthetic first draft. So here goes.
Welcome to Planet Who Gives a Shit. Attention spans are fleeting and precious. You've got less than 20 seconds to grab a prospect's attention, engage them, earn their trust, and convince them that they need what you're offering. But even after you've invested a fortune in generating traffic and leads, it's likely that your systems aren't equipped to follow up quickly, consistently, and competently, round the clock, all year. In this game, money loves speed, and time kills deals. Enter digitalcafe.ai, the artificial intelligence that builds relationships. This AI takes the leads you've worked so hard to generate and makes them feel like they're having a personal conversation with you over a cup of coffee. It listens to their needs and responds with personalized, useful, and resourceful solutions. Imagine an A-plus marketer, a friendly salesperson, a data nerd, an engaging copywriter, and a delivery genius, all rolled into one. That's digitalcafe.ai for you. It provides your prospects with hyper-personalized follow-ups, stories, proposals, brochures, videos, audios, voicemails, emails, and custom websites. It gives them hope, possibility, and a vision to invest in your product or service. It creates beautiful magazine-quality PDF reports and can even send real handwritten cards and letters right to their home. This AI does hours or days of work that normally requires an expensive team of specialists in just minutes. It notifies you instantly of qualified prospects, so you or your team can take over the conversation, or you can let the AI do the work for you. It's the fastest, easiest automated way to get attention, engagement, trust, and close bigger deals faster. The result? Your prospects are blown away by the experience. Every deal closes faster with less work. No HR issues, no complaints, no excuses, no vacations. It's always on 24/7, 365. This isn't about replacing human interaction. It's about filling the void where the human component falls short. You might be wondering, is it easy? Does it work? Will it work for my business? Digital Cafe AI is a done-for-you service that can be adapted to any B2B or B2C business and can understand any language, anywhere in the world. It integrates with every CRM system and even connects to WhatsApp, which means 100% deliverability with no CAN spam, SMS, text, or GDPR limitations. Money loves speed and time kills deals. Visit digitalcafe.ai to see how it will work for you.
All right. What do you think of that?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's
That would have been weeks in production.
Yeah, just the editing itself.
right. And that to me is, again, a lot of people don't even know where to begin, what's possible, or how to glue these things together, or where the big time wasting is. And the other tool I showed you right before then, which is this one here, VideoGen does basically the same thing, and it is insanely fast. I mean, just like holy crap fast. So it is, and again, I use the same mindset as I would with ChatHub, which is, why don't I use an AI to create first drafts using multiple platforms? And then I compare them, or I Frankenstein the results together. I do the same thing with, there's a tool called gamma.app.
Big fan of Gamma. Yep.
Gamma is so good, beautiful.ai and Tome. So all of them create PowerPoint keynote presentations, but you can feed something in, and now they even generate AI images that are pretty good. So I'll show you an example of one that we did, and I'll pop this up because I was just with Reagan the past 2 days, and we built a new product for him, right? So part of what we're doing is sitting down, and this is, and again, this is just a first draft. It's not perfect, but he's doing something new called cord plasma exchange. Mm-hmm. This is the basic technology. It's real similar to when you hear about how they sew an old rat to a young rat, and the young rat gets older, but the old rat gets younger. It's possible to actually take this blood plasma to create a youthful effect. And this can be delivered now to you, meaning now you can start getting cord plasma delivered directly to you, Chuck, which I'm going to start next week.
Okay.
But here's what happened. I just fed in some basic ideas from an article he had written, and then this presentation was cranked out in like 5 minutes, not even that, including making all those really cool looking pictures. And I mean, this is good enough. I've had people who sat down and made a presentation like they had nothing done. And 4 hours later, they're in front of an audience presenting with something that looked beautiful. And the latest, if you haven't seen in Gamma, this is something I really like. So let's just make something together right now. We can say, I want to generate something from a one-line prompt, and I'll say, create a presentation on the benefits of using an AI-generated Keynote or PowerPoint presentation maker with the 3 top products, which include Gamma.app, Beautiful.ai, and Tome. Oops. I got to do that one more time. Let's try that one more time. All right.
Nothing like a live demo.
I want you to create a presentation about the top 3 AI, PowerPoint, and Keynote presentation generating apps, which include Gamma.app, Beautiful.ai, and Tome. There we go. And I'm going to hit that. Okay. All right. Now for image source, this is what I like. AI image. And now we can say either fastest or advanced. Okay. And we want an image style. Photorealistic for a professional business user. And then advanced mode lets us, give it some additional. You want promotional, business, right for, you can tell it, you give it a whatever. And let's make it pretty. We'll use this style, hit generate. And again, Beautiful.ai and Tome basically work the same way. So my strategy is the same as ChatHub, which is why not have it create multiple versions in 3 different products simultaneously. So I'll just open up a bunch of windows and first draft, I love this. Who cares if it's not perfect the first time? And there we go. This is enough where you can build, and these are all original art that you don't have to license, royalty free, all yours.
No nasty lawyer letters.
Yeah. We've all been.
I love it. If there's anyone I know who doesn't like hearing from lawyers,
so true.
It's I think the 3 of us here. This is to me awesome. So you ready to go on to the billionaire mindset?
Yep.
How are we doing?
Let's
Good.
go.
Okay, let's hit it. All right. So here's the billionaire mindset, which is to appify your business. Now I'll use a real life example because this is something we're working on right now. We're doing a couple of them. Like Brian Tracy has a new AI chatbot that has been trained with all of his content, with his voice, and can talk like him and think like him. And you can actually talk to a virtual Brian Tracy. You can ask him, hey, I'm about to go on and do a speech about AI. What are some opening line recommendations you'd make that would impress and excite an audience? And he'll talk to you back. We did the same thing with Reagan Archibald, who's got this stem cell company. But yesterday I was meeting with Reagan's brother, Cade, and for them to scale 3x, they need a mechanism to review blood labs and create custom plans faster, because right now it takes hours of time. So we're meeting with them to build this platform using a combination of custom code and AI technology. But again, if you would have had to build that from scratch, Chuck, it takes freaking forever to software.
Yep.
You could spend 6 or 8 months with a team of 10 and get something that sucks. For now, you can have 2 engineers working for, we can prototype something in 3 days to 3 weeks that could be commercially usable. All right. And literally profitable in a month.
Yeah, 3 weeks to an MVP is pretty amazing.
And we're doing that right now. So the whole idea is, how do you increase the value of a business? Get rid of the dependence on a key person, or make your key people 3 to 5 times more effective. That's how you increase multiples. So this is one of them, obviously cloning ourselves. So we're basically cloning Reagan, but we're doing the hard work. reading the blood labs like he does is hard. Here's another example of a product we did. So this is a company we worked with. It's they're contractors who find and hire contract employees who are masons. Now, It turns out that's a blue collar business. And to get someone who's a professional at HR will probably cost you about 120 grand a year. Most of these masonry companies can't afford someone like this. So these guys do it for $1,500 a month. They find, hire, and onboard them. Well, they had a problem, which is their conversions sucked. They came to me and said, hey, Mike, what can we do to improve our conversion? So I wrote a little prompt. I said, first of all, send me all of your, some of your calls. You know, they record all their sales calls. So they gave it to me, and I transcribed them all. And I took the transcriptions plus this prompt, which says, review the attached call logs and analyze them for sentiment analysis and determine how to make each of these sales conversations more effective based on phone and Zoom-based sales best practices. You don't even know, you need to know anything anymore because ChatGPT knows everything. Then analyze all the sales conversations through the workflow and process described in the attached Punch the Elephant book manuscript. This is a book that I wrote on sales conversions, okay? So it's my voice, my content, my process. Because a lot of people say, hey, can you make it think like me and talk like me? And the answer is, yeah, just upload your book.
Yep.
And then I said, now write a full report and analysis that can be shared with Matt, who's the founder, in my voice in the form of a step-by-step SOP. Now, this is where things get juicy yummy. So I basically, again, grabbed that prompt. I uploaded the sales calls along with a copy of my book, and then it spit out a step-by-step process and SOP in my voice. Now if I would have done this manually, it would have taken me about 2.5 days, okay? You know what it's like. It's like freaking hard to analyze this. For the time it took me to write the prompt and produce 2 full SOPs and follow-up emails that 5x'd their sales in a week and a half.
Wow.
In less than an hour, okay? Now, I could take this prompt and put it in a package and sell it as a product. It'd be a sales call, sales sentiment analysis product based on my voice. I got bigger fish to fry at the moment, but the point of this is you've got IP right now sitting around that could be leveraged and multiplied. And this is another one where we've been developing and prototyping a product that can help eliminate loneliness in colleges and ultimately depression and suicide. So it's like a matchmaking service that matches the interests of students with other students and puts them into places where they'll just be instant best friends forever. And so this is a product we prototyped, and now they're out raising $3 million.
Oh, That's amazing.
Yeah, that wasn't possible, not at this speed,
right?
Until
of course.
Okay. So the billionaire mindset again is, how do you multiply the value of your own IP to increase the value of your own company and make you and your teams 3 to 5 times more powerful or productive and profitable without having to add more people and more overhead? I believe that is a current future, but the trillionaire mindset is taken a step further, which is, what if you could take that IP and sell it to 100 of your competitors or customers? So you take your unique advantage, and instead of thinking about, oh, how do I just increase my own revenue and my own value, I could 100x this. So the mindset here is, if we got 100 customers who paid $10,000 a month, that's $1 million in monthly recurring revenue. That's great, $12 million a year. Now, if it's a SaaS business, software as a service, that thing's probably going to be running 60 to 80% profitability. But the multiples on that kind of business is multiples of revenue, not on EBITDA.
Right.
So that means a $12 million a year business is worth 120 million to 240 million. Okay. Now, it doesn't take too long to get to $1 billion, and 1,000 times $1 billion, that might be a stretch for most people. But if you start thinking about, how do I create the network effect? This is how I believe trillionaires are going to be made, from massive, massive multiples of technology platforms that are worth like again, like NVIDIA, the reason why those guys are probably going to be worth as much as Microsoft, Google, or Apple soon is because they're making the chips that are powering all this stuff. Processing and compute matter most right now. So that's sort of like, for me, my billion-dollar play is my digital cafe platform. It's like I'm solving what I believe are the biggest problems that all of us business owners have. And that is, how do I follow up right away?
Right. Yeah.
So if you want, I can do one of two things here, depending on how we are in time. One is you saw the first draft what the bot created for me. I use that to create my own video, marketing video, but more, I can show you the back end here, which I know you've seen, Chuck.
Yeah.
But it's basically where you talk to the bot, and we use WhatsApp. And the reason for that is because it has 100% deliverability anywhere in the world, and it can be multilingual. And now I've replaced my funnels, or I've augmented my funnels with this. And now we're licensing this to other business types. So this is how I get to my, 100 customers times 10 grand a month. But my mindset is I'm going to go to and do category versions of this thing.
Right.
Right. And then in the back end, what it does is it, researches the lead, it learns about them, it visits it asks them meaningful questions, it builds rapport, and then it qualifies them, and then we get notified. So every time a new lead comes in, I'm seeing it in real time and following up and saying, hey, this is the real Mike Koenigs. Or someone on my team says, hey, I just saw you're in the AIX, the bot. Do you have any questions? And then, from there, and our conversions have increased. And then here you can hear the audio. So it's a synthetic mic.
Hey, Amika, this is Mike Koenigs. I want to start by saying a big thank you for your interest. Your impressive journey in the architect.
So it researched him, and then, of course, it makes Mike.
Hey, Amika, this is Mike Koenigs. You're on the brink of revolutionizing sustainable community development with your vision of an AI toolkit. Imagine harnessing AI to assess land for sustainable development, integrating environmental, technical, social, and economic markers. This isn't just a dream, it's a transformative shift waiting to happen.
Okay, so that tech, it's pretty good. A lot of people wouldn't know that it's not me. And the fact that you get a follow-up in 5 minutes, and that tech is going to get, probably 2 months from now, we're going to look at it and go, what the hell? Right.
Yeah.
And then, it writes this customized for you follow-up. But the more important thing, this isn't about me. This, I think, is the mindset shift. The other thing it does is it sends a physical card in the mail in your voice. So it researches them, writes a meaningful card, and then this is what I call co-pilot mode. So this is another really important mindset when you start using AI is you've got co-pilot, which is it works with you and alongside you. Autopilot is when it does everything. And I really, again, think of all these as how can you use AI to be your maximum efficiency co-pilot, your profit-making co-pilot, your creative co-pilot, your first draft partner. And then once it works, focus on being and doing more human things.
Right.
That's really what AI should be used for, is not taking anything away from it. It's doing the stuff that robots do better, that suck for humans. And then how do you create that network effect? So if your secret sauce, your unique creativity can be amplified and multiplied 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 times, that's when we create massive wealth and massive abundance. So to me, that's the world I want to live in. And, that's probably I think the key to thinking right about AI is not as a threat, but in fact as a companion. And I was reading a historical document about, the history of technology from a mankind perspective. And in general, all humans are very fearful of all new technology. They were afraid of bicycles. I remember reading this thing that townspeople were afraid that if young girls got bicycles, they'd go to different towns and meet other boys and they'd leave. Right. So they created a rumor that bicycle seats would make you cause fertility problems and unable to bear children. Okay. So lies are always concocted to prevent technology from coming in. And everyone thinks, it's going to be the end of the world. It's going to be the end of the world. The internet's the end of the world, or, year 2000, et cetera. It's like nothing happened except humans create more abundance. And overall, mankind and society is better off now than it's ever been. It's wealthier, it's more educated, it's healthier, and people live longer overall worldwide. That is a fact. And I believe the same is going to happen because of AI.
Yeah, and that's definitely a place I think we'd all agree that we definitely want to be in. Mike, as always, you have just way over delivered beyond kind of what we were hoped for. We've been friends for a long time. I had no doubt. We're going to make sure that all of the resources that you were so kind enough to share are here with the show notes for this segment. So what's the one big thought, the closing thought you want to leave with everybody?
So what I'll do is I put up this slide and I say to everyone, hey, does anyone know what FAFO means? And if you've seen me speak before, no fair, don't shout it out. And people will be like, they're shaking their head. And I go, well, I have a rule these days where I don't swear on stage, but I asked Samuel L. Jackson, a virtual Samuel L. Jackson, to make a little appearance. And here's what he has to say.
What does FAFO mean? Mike shouldn't be swearing on stage, but no one told me I couldn't. Fuck around and find out. You aren't going to lose a job to AI, but you will to someone using it.
All right. That's what I want to leave with is
absolutely
afraid of. But if you're one of those who said, I'm not going to use a darn computer, or I'm not going to use a fax machine, or I'm not going to use one of the confounded modems or the internet, well, let's see where that gets you. And I really think that is the way to approach this is not your enemy. It is a companion that is already built into everything you use anyway. You just don't know it. And if freedom is your fear, you shouldn't have used a smartphone when the first one came out, because you long gave away all your privacy in exchange for what you think is intimacy. And I invest my time and my energy in creating meaningful, intimate relationships with human beings. I use machines for what machines are better for, and that's doing stuff I don't want to do and don't like to do.
Your perspective on AI is unique, and I like it a lot because you're right. A lot of people do look at it at an angle of fear, which if they look at it in a perspective that you have, it could allow them to expand their business horizons or personal life drastically. And I mean, literally the sky's the limit. So it's the tools that you had today were amazing. I'm going to go spend the next day looking at them and testing them and playing with them. And there's so many more, and they continue to advance, and they more and more keep coming out. So it's not an industry that's going to slow down anytime soon.
No. I think, I'm at Genius Network right now with Joe Polish, and he just brought this up right before I came down here. Do we remember seeing the movie Her, which came out, I think it was 12 years ago, with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson, hottest voice in Hollywood. And that movie was, I think, the best example of what AI is going to be, which is this companion that you invite to listen to you. And the way when Her was born, Joaquin Phoenix put in, at the time it was a USB drive in his computer, and the AI was made based upon him answering two questions. The first thing that Scarlett Johansson, the bot, said to him is, it looks like you have a lot of emails and a lot of clutter. Can I help you get rid of that? And he said, sure. And so with permission, she went through and got rid of all the email, all the clutter, and he started living a new life. And he really did evolve into a different person over the course of that movie. And I think that's the way I like to think about this is, we can invite this tool into our lives with restrictions and controls. And, these things will pay attention to sandboxes. I wouldn't trust Meta or Google, but I will trust something I can sandbox around. And I think we've evolved quite a bit into determining like what is okay and what isn't. And you got to be forgiving. At first, technology, like if you watch the old race car shows, cars were super dangerous, they're really safe now. And the reason they're safe is because really, really high performance racers like F1 revolutionized automotive safety. Okay. And Elon Musk says, we got to blow up a few rockets on our way to Mars. Well, guess what? I know Kiko Donchev, who's the director of launch for SpaceX. He's a good friend of mine. They've had 300 launches. They're on a record this year. They're doing 3 a week. Okay. More than anyone by order, in a full order of magnitude, even more in the world. And it's because they're not afraid to blow up rockets on the way there.
Right.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today, because as always, your insight on any topic that you present is always valuable. And I'm excited. I'm excited to go try more AI than ever.
So we'll invite everybody to hit the page, get all of Mike's resources, tap into a virtual mic. And Mike, I look forward to coming out there for some margaritas real soon.
Brother, I can't wait. I've got a new shaker recipe that's going to blow your mind. We're doing some stuff with some spice and some cacao and a little mezcal and tequila. It's so yummy. So you're always welcome, my friend.
All right.
I can't. Yeah.
Thanks again, Mike. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mike.